that profitability of 19.6 billion. Again, when they're giving you that jump, they're telling you that it's grown by very high percentage. But then towards the end of that, they cancelled their interim dividend. Same thing to Stanbic, same thing to Stanchart. In fact, Stanchart has been known to pay the highest among those big boys. But when they cancelled that interim dividend, we thought that this could not stop. Seemingly, it is going to go on, because if the big boys have started then cancelling their dividends, we do expect that the rest of them are going to take that cash conserving approach as we go in towards the half-year results. Today, we do expect APSA and Cooperative Bank to give us the results. What we do know is that we're going to experience profitability from those banking quarters, but then again, we have to really understand that they're going to cancel that interim dividend. But we take a tiny break, because we do know politics are taking center stage in the country. Once we come back, we'll be putting that into perspective. Let's cross over to KICC, where Johnson Sakaja is getting appointed or sworn in as the Nairobi governor, then come back and talk business, can't we?
In the same vein, and Mutandis, I hereby present oath of office for governor, for deputy governor, the county of Nairobi, and also the commitment to the general leadership and integrity code to the Honorable James Njoroge Mushiri.
Office. That is a Johnson Sakaja and his deputy Njoroge right there taking an oath of office. So that means it's official business. And there's a lot that Sakaja did promise, especially when it comes to even the licensing of businesses in the city, especially when he said it's going to be one certificate that's going to cater for all of them. And for film enthusiasts, he did say it's going to be free to film around Nairobi. So there's just a lot really when it comes to how he's going to meet his manifesto and promises. So it is day one, therefore, in office for Sakaja and his deputy. More for him to really look forward to when it comes to running his government. Now, let's shift gears then and look at what we have here in terms of the biggest headlines that Taking center stage in the newsroom as far as business is concerned. Now, KCB Group has seen its half-year profits for the period that ended June 2022 grow by 27.5% on the back of increased lending to 19.6 billion shillings, up from 15.3 billion shillings under the same period last year. Despite the results, the lender did not declare an interim dividend, joining a Standard Chartered Bank, Kenya, and Stanbic Holdings, as well as Equity, who have blamed high inflation and external shocks as the reasons behind the cancellation of the dividends. Katso Jafwa analyzes the results.
The Kenya Commercial Group has recorded net earnings of 19.6% for the next 6 months ending June 30th, 2022, which represents a 28.4% increase for the same period in 2021. The growth in earnings was recorded by improvement from funded, non-funded streams and international subsidiaries. Revenues for the group went up to 16.8% to 59.8 billion shillings from 51.2 billion shillings. Cost went up by 20.3% to 27.3 billion shillings from 22.7 billion shillings, while total assets stood at 1.21 trillion shillings, up to 18.4. Net loans and advances surged 20.2% to 730.3 billion shillings from organic growth and strategic acquisitions. On the other hand, customer deposits increased to 908.6 billion shillings, a 15.6% increase. While releasing the results, Group announced that it had enhanced its regional business by signing an agreement with shareholders of TBM to acquire majority of stake in the Democratic Republic of Congo lender-based. The lender also announced that during the quarter, the bank completed and submitted to the regulator the climate risk roadmap, following the insurance of the CBK guidelines on climate risk disclosures. Additionally, KCB grew the proportion of its green portfolio to 11.68% of the total loan book. Katso Jafwa, Look Up Business.
Katso Jafwa on that story. Today, we don't expect that APSA and Cooperative Bank are going to give us the results, just to mark up the half-year results from the banking industry. Now, Kenya Airways is going through a 9th consecutive half-year lows on the back of rising fuel prices, as the latest 9.8 billion shillings half-year lows pushes the national carrier to new levels of negative equity. Now, KQ ends the period under review on 15 billion shillings negative equity, with some economic analysts now saying it is on the brink of defaulting some of the loans that have enabled it stay afloat. Now, the latest results by the national carrier is better than the 11.48 billion shillings lows reported during a similar period last year. KQ has struggled to pull out of the red since 2012, but has mainly attributed the current results to a global spike in fuel prices, which has raised fresh concerns about the management's decision on fuel hedging in a year when it needed the strategy to work the most. Now, the airline carried a total of 1.61 million passengers during the period, representing an 85% growth compared to 870,000 passengers the previous period. Now, this was, however, 33% lower than the pre-pandemic period of 2019. Now, cargo tonnage ferried by KQ increased 39% compared to the same period in 2021 as the air freight services recovered. In Nakuru County, accounting losses after bad weather in the country has seen a forced effect their maize yields. Now, the region, normally considered as a food basket for the country, is reeling from the extensive cold and lack of enough rainfall to support the crop. This will come as a huge blow to the country at a time when unga prices are at their historic worst.
Yale maeneo ya nyanda ya chini ndio yameguzwa sana, upande wa pipeline, upande wa Lower Gilgil, upande wa Tangi Tano, upande huu mwingine wa Elementaita. Lakini kwa upande huu wa Dondori ambao ni nyanda za juu haukuguzwa sana. Huwa hiyo tunayoita frost kuchoma sana kule nyanda za chini ambako baridi ikitoka milimani ikishaanguka kule chini ndio huwa inachoma.
Kwa Shamba yenye nilikuwa nimepanda mahindi niko na kama eka 2. Na kawaida wakati kuna mafuno huwa na harvest hata 40 bags. Lakini mwaka huu atakufikisha gunia 2, ni Mungu tu aonekane.
Ichelewa kidogo kwa sababu ya vile mvua ilivyokuja ikiwa imechelewa, na baada ya kupanda tukawa na tumaini chakula kaenda vizuri sana, tukawa na tumaini ya kwamba tutaweza kupokea mavuno mazuri. Lakini baadaye mvua ikakosa. Ilipokosa kukawa pia na baridi, jua likawa kali. Kwa hivyo tegemeo letu wakati tulipokuwa tunategemea, pia kukawa na wadudu ambao walivamia. Tukawa ya kwamba chakula chetu kimeharibika.
Farmers in Kisii County have reason to smile after the county earned inclusion into counties benefiting from an electronic government farm subsidy input program. Now, this means that area farmers now have access to inputs from an online purchase system or an e-voucher through their cell phones at the cost of 60%, while government foots the remaining 40%. The program was launched in Nyamache sub-county by Acting Permanent Secretary in the State Department of Crop Development and Agricultural Research National Value Chain Support Program, Dr. Francis Oweno.
To support smallholder farmers in accessing quality farm inputs at subsidized cost. Serikali inachukua asilimia 40 ama 40%, kisha mkulima anajaza ile pengo inaobaki asilimia 60 ama 60%. Wakulima wanapokea electronic vouchers kupitia kwa simu zao SMS, na pia wanalipia hiyo mchango yao kupitia kwa M-Pesa.
Tumesaidia hapa chini ndio production ionekane. Hii subsidy ndio hii. Na sasa mahali tunaangalia ni kwingine. Serikali pia atawaambia hapa inatafuta market ya your products. Tunatafuta market ya products ambazo hakuna. Na sisi wakulima tuko. Ningeomba wakulima wangu, ningewaomba kama tumeshikiliwa na serikali kidogo, tujaribu tufanye production yetu iende juu kwa sababu soko iko.
A sewerage project meant to benefit Malindi residents has been thrown into limbo after local environmentalists questioned its effect on River Sabaki. The environmentalists, who claim were never included in the designing of the plant, now want the local government to halt the construction and consult further on the impact of the project to the environment.
We did not get an impact assessment report, and they are going to construct a sewage plant here, and we are scared that all the residues will be put in the rivers and maybe pollute the rivers, and the species that will be there will perish. So we are trying to say that we need to go back to the drawing board and find a way to see that we don't pollute our river.
We are quite worried about it. It is a water sewerage project. As much as they tell us that they're going to try and refine everything, there will be still that one drop that goes into the river, and we don't know how toxic it is. And we would like my partner said, we would like to be involved to understand, and so that we can be able to also to plan in the future for that.
Before we selected the site in Sabaki, we had a lot of public engagements. I mean, with the people on the ground, we had all the necessary licenses, and we took part of the team to go and see a prototype of that plant in Naivasha. and how it is integrating in the environment. So that plant is safe, and once it's done, it's going to bring up job opportunities for the locals in that place. First of all, at the construction site, we already told the contractor to engage the local population in terms of the workers. Then, when the plant is done, also because we are going to use the fecal matter to create briquettes, we also want to start integrating it with the coconut. I mean, the husk of the coconut. We want to add value to coconuts also, so that at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation for the people of Malindi.
Well, those are some of the stories that we had prepared for you in as much as business is concerned. Well, some of the things that we are closely watching right now in as much as business is concerned is the wage bill in the country right now. And there are concerns that we are crossing those safe margins because, as we know right now, stands approximately at around 500 billion, and that is really huge for the country to weather. We should be looking into conversations of that sort. And also, when we're looking at the non-performing loans that are in the banking industry right now, because if we look at the banks giving us the loans, then we'll see the results, we'll see that right now, as of the 6 months of June 2022, you're going to see that defaulted loans rose by 30.6 billion. That is, as of June, to 514.4 billion. That's a lot. Talks so much about how the economy has been quite unstable, really. Because if you look around, we're talking about high inflation, we're talking about external shocks of the cost of living, and just how much the economy is not really taking when it comes to businesses around. A majority of the factors that have pushed the banking industry to say, no interim dividends this time around. Let's wait and see exactly what happens after we are done with this spirit. Pretty much with that note, then let's cross over and look at how our markets opened today. Now remember, we're going to start with the biggest gainers as we look at how the markets played out yesterday. Now the conversations has been around how the market is subdued by the impending petition result by the Supreme Court. Let's look at where we are. But the Unga Limited, wow, that's a big change right there, coming at 31, closed in at 31.80. That's a 9.66% change, and that's really positive on that. Now, for me, when it comes to this, you look at NSE, that's a big indicator as well, because when NSE is pointing positive, then it means that the market then will also be pointing positive, as BOCs as expected. But that particular price point at 77.25, so much exactly where they need to be. But then when you look at where they were the day before yesterday, that means that this morning they opened on an 8.42% change. That is on a positive. NSE, that's a conversation point as well, because when they're at 7.96, then indeed you would be saying a 5.57% change in the market. Then will be also an indicator on exactly how the market is working on right now. Now, just so that we know exactly where we are, that list has really changed from where we were yesterday, because currently, if you log on to the live market indicators, and you will see that NCBA, Kabasid, Everybody, KPLC, and APSA are the ones that will be leading that list. But indeed, in terms of how the markets closed yesterday, this is exactly what the outlook was like, pretty much. Then let's move on to the biggest losers in terms of how the markets opened this morning. Now, what we do know is that the live ones that we have right now will be very, very different from how the markets closed yesterday. Can we move on to the biggest losers? I could maybe start from how they are looking right now. KCB will not be so much on the positive, because KCB will be at 42. right now. And just on that, NSE as well will not be quick, but we'll be coming back to this list, by the way. Let's again cross over to the KICC, where we do have the Deputy Governor and the governor giving them speeches right now. So we could cross over right now and get to listen to the governor, Nabobi Johnson Sakaja, giving his acceptance speech right now.
And we will become unstoppable, that we will become a regional and global force. This is what we stand for. A city of order, a city of dignity, a city of hope, and a city of opportunity for all. We can make Nairobi work together. At this point, Your Excellency, President-elect, and all the leaders here, I want to acknowledge my competitors, especially my friend Polycarp Kiage, who I sat with recently, and he excused himself for today saying he's traveling. I want to acknowledge him because many of you might not know, but really running for office is above all an act of patriotism and courage. And like any race, the best political contest challenged candidates to their very best and to the end of their wits. So thank you, Polycarp Kiage, for engaging on the issues and for moving our county and our politics forward in the most positive way. You are a true embodiment of Siasa Safi, which I believe in. Thank you, Polycarp. And also thank you for all the other candidates. I've seen my friend Haman Grewal somewhere here. You saw him at the earlier debate. He did very well. Thank you, Haman, for being here. And we hope that we can all work together because the politics is over now. Nairobians want services. Nairobians want all our ideas moving together for the sake of the city of Nairobi. It would be remiss for me to talk about Nairobi that we aspire to have without recognizing the many, many individuals and leaders on whose shoulders it's an honor for us to stand. The story of Nairobi has been a story that has been unfolding for decades. It has many authors. This is just a new chapter, and I hope this will be its best chapter yet. From the first mayor of Nairobi, Charles Rubia, to the last mayor, George Aladwa, from the first governor under this constitution, Governor Evans Kidero, to Governor Mike Sonko Mbuvi, Governor Ann Kananu, my sister who is here, as well as Major General Badi of the NMS, thank you. And thank you to all the others who have faithfully served this county. I want to thank the MCAs who have been there, the former councillors, the former city fathers that we used to call. They have all played a part to bring Nairobi to where it is today, and it is an honor for us to take it to the next level and to the next level and to take it to higher heights as Nairobi. And we will do it. That is our commitment. But most of all, I want to thank the citizens of Nairobi. The quality of any democracy is defined by the caliber of its citizens. And in this election, the citizens of Nairobi proved their mettle and made this country proud. We actively engaged in the process. We debated, we deliberated, we shared our views, our aspirations, and our concerns. You showed up to vote. And most of all, we maintained respect for each other, which is the true definition of peace. You voted across party lines, across tribal lines, beyond that divide, and we showed this country what the people of Nairobi are truly made of. The symbolism of this election might be bigger than what we might understand now. But today, in Mathare, in Kibera, in Roysambu, in Dandora, in Westlands, if Sakaja Johnson is the governor of Nairobi, every child knows that they can believe in the beauty of their dreams and that tomorrow they too can be who they want to be. I'm going to be honest. This was an improbable campaign when we set out about a year or two ago. It was a campaign not based on personal identities, but on the promise of shared ideals and ideas. It was a campaign whose agenda was not defined by the small pockets of power, but inspired by the aspirations, reality, and resilience of the common Nairobian, the Mwananchi. A campaign that set out to focus not on what divides us, but on what we can achieve together. And when we traversed this city, we reminded each other, we reminded ourselves that the pain Mama Njeri feels when she cannot feed a child is the same pain that Mama Kinyi feels when she cannot put food on the table. That the Kikuyu dreams in the same way as the Kalenjin and the Luo, has the same aspirations as the Luya, that they are not opposed to each other. That there is no Kamba pothole in Nairobi. There is no Kikuyu lack of water. There is no Masai hunger. That we have more that unites us than what divides us as a city. And the results of the election showed just that. That the people of Nairobi stand united. They acknowledge that there's more that brings us together, and they want a united county moving forward. That jirani yako ndio ndugu yako. And that is why I must salute the people of Nairobi for maintaining peace, for remaining peaceful, even as we wait for the outcome of the Supreme Court petition. Thank you, watu wa Nairobi, mko mbele tu sana. In many ways, as I've said, in many ways, I was an improbable candidate, a long shot. As I said earlier, kijana wa mtaa with a dream, and that dream will start being implemented. As weeks turned to months, a campaign turned into a community, small at first, and then bigger, diverse, dynamic, disruptive, until what started as an impossible, improbable campaign, in what I feel has been a journey that I started when I was 7 years old, to some very naive, to others frankly a bit insane. What started with that improbability, led by an improbable candidate, today becomes an irrevocable commitment by your governor to yourselves. And the commitment, I'm seeing my daughter is having a lot of fun. She'll watch one day. The commitment is a commitment. She's dancing with the Lady Justice, with the President-elect. She's just like my mom. It is a commitment we're making, not just to those who voted for us, or even those who voted at all, but to every single citizen of this county. And it is simple. We will work with you to build a Nairobi whose hallmark is order, that upholds the dignity of all its citizens, that democratizes hope and creates opportunities for all. That our people deserve dignity. That the days of leaving your house and coming back in the evening to find a demolished structure are over in the county of Nairobi. That the days of innocent traders and hawkers just plying their trade because the administration has not provided for them, being chased and bungled into rust-filled contraptions by my good officers in the county, are over. That we will give our people the opportunity to do business, the opportunity to thrive, the opportunity to be who they're supposed to be. Because everybody, invariably, wants the same thing: to go about their lives peacefully, to make something out of themselves, and to guarantee their children, just like her, a future. That is the future we want to guarantee for Nairobi. We want a Nairobi that is not just an emblem of African achievement, but an epicenter of global economic activity. A Nairobi that is always open for business 24 hours. A Nairobi where the rules of engagement are clear, the game is fair, and the playing field is level for everybody. A Nairobi where talent, the talent of our young people, is nurtured, and the audacity of lawful enterprise, the hustle of everyday Kenyans, is encouraged and rewarded, not criminalized and curtailed. That is the new Nairobi, a first-class county without a second-class citizen. A county led by a government that is not focused that is not just focused on those with millions of shillings in their accounts, but those with millions of ideas in their minds. Those are the people we are going to focus on in this county. A Nairobi that is propelled forward by bipartisan collaboration on the principles that we can all agree on. That no child should have to go hungry, because you cannot starve our children of opportunity and expect our future to be full. That no family should have to face poverty because they have pursued treatment when somebody falls sick, and no patient should have to endure illness because there aren't enough medical personnel or medication. That access to safe, clean and adequate water and to a decent and affordable shelter is not the preserve of a few but the right of all. That being a free citizen must also mean being free to move safely and efficiently within your own county. Today, we commit to delivering a Nairobi where the true spirit and promise of devolution is realized, where we in the government report to you, the people. That's what we've started, that's where we're going. And I want to be honest with you again, it will not be easy. There are no quick fixes, there are no silver bullets. There's a lot of work to be done and to deliver on this future. And I hope that we will all work together, that let's together make Nairobi work. This work begins today, the 25th of August. And more than ever, I am convinced we will get there, not because the journey is easy, not because there are secrets or magic wands to be waved in Nairobi, but because we will do it together. Everybody has a place at the table of Nairobi. To the entire leadership of Nairobi, our senator, our women rep, our MPs, all our MCAs, and I'm very glad to see all the MCAs of Nairobi here from across the political divide. Our voters have passed a very strong message to us. They voted with great expectations and across party lines. In their wisdom, they chose MCAs, MPs, a senator, a governor, women rep from different parties, in their wisdom. For me, political grandstanding is over. It is time to work. I commit to work with each and every one of you for the sake of the people that we so dearly love. That is my commitment to you. Nairobi, thank you for giving me the most important assignment of my life. Together we have already we have dared to defy the status quo. Now let us dare to redefine it. Let's make Nairobi work for all of us. I want to thank everyone who believed in me in this journey and supported us on this journey. I want to thank my family, my confidant, my team, my running mate, Njoroge Mushiri, and I think I'm the luckiest governor to have a running mate like this. Njoroge Mushiri, our party leader, Your Excellency, William Samoei Ruto, the President-elect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me when others found it difficult too. Thank you for standing by the people of Nairobi. Thank you for being here. And most importantly, God Almighty, who has never failed me and who will never fail us as a people. God bless Kenya. God bless Nairobi. Tuende kazi. Asanteni sana. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President-elect, allow me to recognize the current governor of or former, in fact it's former now, Sorry, sijazoea. I'll get the hang of it. Allow me to recognize the former governor of Nairobi, Anne Kananu, and allow her to make some brief remarks, as well as Major General Badi, who we thank for the work that has been done in Nairobi. We had a chat yesterday, we sat down and discussed the way forward. Nairobi will work. We will work together. And I'm glad that General Badi, contrary to what has been out in the media, is very ready to fully hand over all the functions of Nairobi County to the people. We have returned the power to the people. But even as we do that, we must recognize the good work that your team has done, General Badi. we will continue that process of handing over together. So, Mheshimiwa Kananu, karibu to give your remarks. Tumpigie makofi, huwa amekuwa gavana wetu under difficult circumstances. Karibu sana gavana.
Asante sana.
Is it on?
Is it on? Thank you so much, Governor Sakaja. Your Excellency, the President-elect, and the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, and the Deputy, and the
Well, that is the happenings at the Kenyatta International Conference Center, where Johnson Sakaja and his deputy have officially taken out of office. So their days start running as for now. Well, that is county business. So let's complete the business of the market right now. And let's cross over and take a look at where we are in terms of the biggest losers then. That is the list that we were jumping into next before we crossed over to the Kenyatta International Conference Center. And again, for us, when we look at it like this, you look at where we are from the first one, and you can actually see the biggest loser right now to Kenya Re at a negative 2.78. Not so much of a change, really, because we have Kenyan as well coming in at 39. That's a loss of negative 8.14. Capacity as well coming in at negative 9.6. Those are the biggest losers. Let's cross over then and talk about the biggest movers as well. See exactly how that trading went on yesterday, and indeed you can actually get to see Safaricom at 3.5 million. That's huge, really, in terms of volumes. That's exactly how they closed it yesterday. Equity as well coming in at 2 million, and I will tell you why. Because equity did give us a very good profitability. Seems as if the investors were happy with sitting without that interim dividend, because you can see that margin is at 2,097,300 shares traded. Safcom at 3.5 million shares. Kenyan 1,145,000. You can see where we are really all the way up to Kenya Re at 256,400, and that is an indication that indeed our volumes yesterday in terms of the number of deals and shares at the NSE were on a high. Seems like investors are saying, well, we do know what to expect from the petition. We've seen it before, so hopefully it goes the same direction, and that's exactly why you're seeing these volumes here in terms of the biggest movers as far as trading on the 24th of August was concerned. Right now, we do still have Safaricom leading that particular one at 43,900 shares, KCB at 33,100, and we do have equity again at 23,400. Looks as if that sentiment is going to maintain all the way in today's trading as well. That is exactly how they look. And I do apologize that we've run out of time then to go into the second part of our conversation on our liquor business. We do promise to hold that conversation another day as well once we are accorded that particular time. My name is Simba Kiage. Catch us up online at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. See you tomorrow on our Look Up Business.